For many immigrants, the road to citizenship is impossible to travel without help.
I'm an immigrant myself, I always say when I give talks throughout the country, because I was born in Ireland. And of course, when I came, I had no problems at all. People took care of me and got legal status for me right away.
During her years at the North Carolina Justice Center, Sister Attracta Kelly helped thousands fight the legal battles necessary to start a new life in the United States.
We really have represented people from all over the world. South America, also many countries in Africa, particularly with the turmoil that has been going on in a number of those countries. We've had folks from Sierra Leone and the Congo and other nations there.
As director of the center's Immigrants Legal Assistance Project, Attracta worked with people who had fled their countries due to their political views, race, religion, gender, and many other reasons. Victims of domestic violence, families seeking to remain together, and victims of violent crimes, national disasters, and human trafficking.
The ones that have been a priority have been folks who are seeking asylum. And those have been always our highest priority because those were people who, if they returned to their home country, they were facing either possible death, imprisonment, or torture, or all three.
I work in Colombia with the government. I was a judge, but I had a lot of problems.
Paulina, because she was a judge, she would be visited on a regular basis by FARC members with their guns and say to her in her court, so-and-so is downstairs in the jail. His trial is coming up on Thursday, and if you don't take care of him the way we want it, you better watch out.
But the last time I received a call and they say, well, do you have only 3 days? Do you want to be here or do you want to die? No, I don't want to die. I need to go to the United States.
Now, for most people who have been persecuted, they are very reluctant to tell their stories. However, the asylum office will not grant you asylum unless you are very forthright in telling your story. And not only do you have to tell your story, you have to show with documentation that these kinds of things actually did happen. If they happen to you and you happen to have that kind of documentation, that is even better.
You're trying to document reasons that may have happened 10,000 miles away years ago, and so putting that sort of documentation together so that someone will believe what has occurred is truly something that warrants the person to be granted relief can be really difficult and daunting.
She helped us because was with my son too since 2001 until this year before to receive my citizenship, because before to receive my citizenship, she prepared me to attend the interview at the immigration office.
My husband was involved in politics and they were looking for him. They came in our home and they killed everyone.
Many of our cases were in Atlanta, immigration courts in Atlanta, which unfortunately is notorious in not granting asylum.
She fought nail and tooth for me, you know. I remember her standing up trying to talk to the judge, and they would not listen to what she had to say to let her finish the sentence. And she kept on and on, trying, you know, to convince them why I needed to be here.
Anytime we were able to get asylum for someone who knew that if they went back to their home country, they would be killed, it was one of the most rewarding experiences one could ever have. It's like granting a new life to someone. And being involved in that kind of process is just, it is so profound that it's an experience you wish everybody could have.
Yeah, when they told us that we get approved for the green card, I was the first one to hear it. She did not hear it. I mean, I screamed and I was crying, and she turned around and looked at me, and they all looked at me like, did we really? Because it was the most, you know, we all didn't know what was the outcome.
Now, when I was trained in law school, we are trained to be rather stoic when you go into court and show no emotion. Well, because I'm Irish, I cry rather easily anyway. But when my clients would get asylum and the judge would pronounce it right there, we all jumped up and down and hugged each other and cried a lot and laughed a lot at the thought that this is such a wonderful gift, that they are finally free.
Her passion for this work really comes from a deep place. It's not for a paycheck and it's not for any ego or pride, but really a true commitment to what she believes is a just process that has to occur for folks, and wants to be someone who impacts that.
She's a really kind person. She always is open to help people like us. She doesn't have a problem to listen us and to help in many forms and in many things.
I won't even want to imagine how did the refugee come to have been without Attracta Kelly. She's definitely the person that people need.
I have learned so much from people, especially people who have suffered. People who have been bought and sold and raped and have all of these awful things happen to them, and have the courage to stand up and to speak up and to do anything to take care of their own families. It has given me an awareness of my obligation to always speak out and not be intimidated by any power structure, and to know that because I am educated, and because I know the law, and because I have had all these opportunities, that I have no choice other than to speak up for people when they don't have anybody to speak up for them.
Personally, she's my hero. I don't have words for what she does every day for people like me. And I'm sure she sees maybe worse than my story, but